one of the silver linings for from the pandemic has been spending more time with my daughter. Working from home has allowed me to just be around her more, and to spend more time with her and to eat more meals with her, which has been nice. It's also allowed me to connect with my team and colleagues on a much more intimate level. And even my clients, the first couple of days of this, right around one of the key dates that we will discuss today in the webinar, March 12th, everybody at our firm, we just stopped everything that we were doing and we spent 3 days just reaching out to all of our clients, and everybody on their team that we've talked to and dealt with over the last, anywhere from 3 months to 8 years, to just see how everybody was doing, check in with them, make sure they were okay, and letting them know, start answering whatever questions we could, and it's kind of continued from there, that our doors open and that they are reaching out to us with questions as they have them, and we're there for them with all of their questions. So I believe that through all this, we're realizing we're a global community, and that we are able to connect in new and different and exciting ways, which, albeit maybe not under the greatest of circumstances, is nothing. Renee, how about you? How about your team and your crew? What are some of the blessings that have come out of this pandemic in your office and in your world?
Good morning to everyone. I think I've been really impressed by just the way everyone's come together to work so hard. I mean, we have not traditionally been a remote firm, and we're trying to get information out so quickly to our clients and to just be as proactive and in front of things as we can, and to see everyone doing that remotely and coming together to just be of service. Basically, it's just been really impressive to see. I'm so proud of my team, so grateful.
Likewise. Well, with that, we'll get started. Thank you to the Better Business Bureau of the Pacific Southwest for having us and for hosting this webinar. We're grateful to be here.
Yes, thank you everyone for attending today. Just so everyone knows, our webinar is being recorded, so if you do have to leave, it will be posted on our website a day after or two. You just go to events.bbcommunity.org to access that, and if you miss any of our other webinars, or if you want to sign up for other webinars coming up next week, those are all available online as well at events.bbcommunity.org. I do have a couple of call-in attendees, so if you called in on your phone, you can also access these webinars. Just go to that website as well, so you won't miss anything just because you're just listening in. My name is Faustine Chan. I'm the Business Innovation Manager for BB serving the Pacific Southwest. So I help coordinate these webinars that we've been holding daily for all of our credit businesses and all the business community, just to help you get more understanding of what's going on. There's a lot that's going on, whether it's taxes, scams, loans. So we have a lot of variety of topics just to help you get through this time right now. So it's definitely something that we've never experienced before, and we'll definitely navigate it together. So we've already kind of get an introduction, Alexandra, but I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. You both have your law firms there. If you want to just briefly mention what you do there and some of the things that you're passionate about.
Sure. My name is Alexandra Eaker Pérez, and I am the founder and a shareholder in the firm Eaker Pérez Law. We're exclusively a tax law and tax controversy firm. We practice civil tax litigation and criminal tax defense exclusively. These are a few of the types of matters that we handle: EDD, worker employment tax and worker classification audits, payroll tax issues, whether through audit or some type of civil sometimes not civil, negotiated agreement with the government and state tax agencies, tax settlements with the Employment Development Department, Internal Revenue Service, California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, Franchise Tax Board, and Texas Comptroller's Office, IRS Audit Defense, Sales and Use Tax Audit, Representation and Settlement and Appeal, and then General Tax Litigation and Criminal Tax Defense. Been doing this for a while and have appeared in court quite a few times on these types of matters. And then this is a sample of some of the things that I do in the community in order to, give back to the community. And I've won a few awards. And Renee, my co-presenter, is a phenomenal employment law attorney for businesses. Renee?
Thanks, Alexandra. We are an employment law firm, a boutique law firm with a focus on helping companies create what we describe as work communities, founded on, yes, compliance, but also kindness and leadership and relationship, because we truly believe that the combination of those features in a work community can prevent litigation, can keep companies from being sued, in addition to obviously making for more productive and happy employees. And I do want to say that particularly in light of everything that we're going to be talking about today, and something that's resonated so powerfully for me in the last weeks that we've been handling these issues, who you are today and how you behave in these difficult times toward your employees is every bit as important as the decisions that you make. It will be remembered, and it will make the difference, I believe, in which companies will thrive and have loyalty. Just encourage everyone to bear that in mind. Of course, you probably all know that, but just a little reminder of that as we move forward. So our firm is specialized exclusively in employment, and we do both counseling and litigation.
So our agenda for today is we'll outline recent legislation, discuss options for business, and then also discuss future business considerations based on the changes that are coming out. I want to give a disclaimer before we start, and I think I can only speak for myself, but I would imagine Renee would echo my thoughts. This law is developing quickly, and as of today, it is not fully developed. So Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, he initially last week, when much of the legislation that we will discuss today, he had promised that IRS and Treasury regulations, guidance, and FAQs would be promulgated this week. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday at 11 a.m. And yesterday afternoon, he updated that they were hoping by Monday. So we do not have the full and complete picture of what is being rolled out in terms of the legal aspects of it. We're going to give you the information that we know, and we're going to give you information, the best guidance that we can. Know that this is ever evolving, ever changing, and will be updated further, specifically on Monday, but I would imagine there'll be a few more rounds of updates that go on probably throughout the entire year 2020. Some of these laws that we'll discuss related to payroll taxes trigger 2021 and 2022 events. And I would imagine that further guidance will continue to roll out for the next 3 years. This is a significant amount of specific legislation. It was drafted very quickly, and it was drafted on a short and reduced staff. Congress is a body of congressional members of Congress, and their staffers are human beings, same as just like the rest of us, who are also dealing with significant health and family issues at the moment. So this was drafted quickly with a limited workforce, and will likely be an ever evolving body of law as much as going on 3 years from now. And with that, I will start with background, and Renee will start us off with her very, very wonderful and experienced background, specifically in labor and employment law related to businesses.
I'm going to move through this fairly quickly because I think we have so much to cover today, but this is just the backdrop of the FFCRA. The first part of it is the Enhanced Family and Medical Leave Act provisions, effective April 1, no irony there, and through the rest of the year. And it applies to companies with 500 or fewer employees. Be mindful that there are already cities that are starting to implement, talking about implementing similar policies for larger companies, so stay tuned on that. There are exemptions available for certain kinds of leave obligations for companies that are smaller than 50 employees. The EFMLA applies to, or is available for employees who have at least 30 days of employment, and it's somewhat limited. It's available for employees who are unable to work or telework because their child is out of school due to a closure. So that is the single basically purpose for it. It's up to 12 weeks. The first 10 days are unpaid, but the regulations are really quite clear. The whole interaction of the EFMLA and the emergency paid sick leave is intended to cover these first unpaid days. You probably all know the amounts that you're required to pay to an employee who's covered by one of these. It includes, reinstatement, just like the traditional FMLA. Employers are eligible, which Alex is going to talk about quite a bit, I think, for the payroll tax credit for the amounts advanced towards sick leave. You're prohibited from discriminating against an employee who exercises their rights under it, and you are not necessarily required in the same ways to have a written policy, but highly, highly, highly recommend that you do that. And then the Emergency Paid Sick Leave Act, same eligibility dates, same thresholds for coverage in terms of employer size, also covers public agencies. It's immediate, and it's in addition to any benefits that the state provides, the local government provides, or company provides. So we get lots of calls on, I'm being generous. I already have a generous PTO policy. Isn't that enough? I do sick leave. It's wonderful that you do all those things, and those are in addition to what you would be required to provide for an employee who's eligible for paid sick leave. We got regulations this week that have given us a lot more information. I can't possibly cover all of that today. Just so you know, these are the 6 categories of employees who may be eligible for paid sick leave. One of the most powerful, I think, changes that we saw in the regulations, or the most significant one, has to do with bullet point number 1, which is that employees who are quarantined by the governor's order might be eligible. There was a question earlier as to whether the governor's order was enough to create eligibility, and we got clarification that indeed it does. But at the same time, the eligibility for paid sick leave has been narrowed quite a bit by the regulations that were provided. So a lot of detail there, which I'm happy to provide folks offline. But that one to me is a significant one, because even if an employee can't work because a company is effectively shut down by the stay-at-home order, the reason the employee can't work has to be one of these reasons. And if there are other reasons, like a company's having financial challenges, that's not going to make the employee eligible for the sick leave. more importantly, it means the company is not going to be eligible for reimbursement. So you really need to get your arms around which employees actually are eligible under the law, because when you go to reimburse, if it wasn't an actually covered reason, you may not be able to get the reimbursement. So just really important to understand when employees aren't